Good morning. Welcome to our February 15th, 6 a.m. Pacific Time devotional using 365 Science of Mind, a year of daily writings from our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes. Thank you for joining from wherever you are joining from. British Columbia, New Mexico, Canada. Yesterday we had somebody from Tanzania. So thank you for joining us and letting us know where you're joining from, even if you're joining later on in the day at a time that's more suitable for your time zone or for your schedule. That would be fine too. I'm enjoying traveling through the year with you, and it's my commitment to keep on doing that and exploring these ideas, some of the teachings of Centers for Spiritual Living through the lens of our founder. And it is important to keep in mind that these writings were written a very, very long time ago, and sometimes need to be reframed in a contemporary context. Also, this morning, our reading on the 15th, I think it's all over the page. It's all over. It's got many topics in it, and so I'm not sure where to land when I'm reading it. It sort of leaves me stimulated. So I'll just begin at the beginning with the title, I Allow More Good into My Life. How is that possible, one might ask? The way I think about it is uh, the air that is around us, the oxygen. Well, I don't have to breathe it in, all of it. I can be quite discreet and breathe very shallowly if I wanted to. And indeed, in the West, we have, I would say, a shallow breathing problem. So at any moment, I could allow more in. I haven't depleted the amount of air that is available. I've just allowed more of it into me by breathing more, and I can make a habit of that every day and increase the oxygen, and that then will oxygenate my blood, and that then will have a beneficial impact on my energy and my outlook. Oh, this is documented in medical articles online, where all the important research is done online. I'm laughing at myself. But I can breathe in more of the available oxygen. But what if the air is polluted? Then it's going to do me no good to just say that affirmation and breathe in polluted air. I'm going to have to do more than that. I might have to get out of that environment. I might have to take a stand. So everything that we read in the spiritual world has a context in the world that we're living in. And so I must be aware of the ramifications of saying things that may not have a useful application to other people. I can say good and more good is mine, and ever increasing good is mine. There is no limit to the good that is mine. Everywhere I go, I see that good. And that is an affirmation from our teaching that is applicable on the spiritual realm to everyone. And yet we have to be sensitive that in the physical realm, that can come across as heartless to a family that is struggling to pay their rent or to get food into their bellies. So everything that we say must be flavored with sensitivity, which brings me to the biblical quote for this morning. I think I'm feeling feisty today. The quote is John 20:29, not my favorite quote. This is the quote recounting the story of the rising of Jesus after the entombment, and it's almost chiding one of the disciples, saying, you believe in me because you've seen me, but blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed. And my problem with that in the context of this morning's meditation is asking people to believe things that don't seem reasonable is unkind. Indeed, one of the things that attracted me to the teachings of the Centers for Spiritual Living is the emphasis on let's prove this. Does it make a difference to you when you do X, Y, and Z? What happens in me when I make this adjustment in my lifestyle, my mental approach to life? Let me gather in the evidence of my own spiritual journey and let that be the foundation of my practice instead of just believe. I've never been comfortable with that. So I would say, in the context of I allow more good into my life instead of just believing it, try it, practice it, see what happens. And this is how we do it. Very innocently, and start with something simple. For the moment, let's not take on the threat of war in Europe, etc. Let's just take on you, me, today. And in terms of experiencing a quality of life, what would I like more of? I'm going to just start there. I'm going to see if I can prove this. And then I'm going to speak as if speaking to myself, understanding that there is a mind in me deeper than my surface mind that is responding to this gentle and affirmative approach by just saying, not in a churlish, feisty way like Edward feels this morning, but in a gentle way, saying, I am open to experiencing more, and just say that word silently in your own consciousness. Or you can bring it closer by saying, I embrace more love, for example, or peace. So just in this moment of spiritual practice, we are not preaching to the world. We are seeing if by identifying something we want more of and bringing our attention to it in a gentle way, not in a desperate way, there's a big difference, a quiet, gentle way, to see if that impacts my journey today. Then I become a light to the world. Then I don't have to tell people something I haven't proven to myself and expect them to believe it. Now, given that there is threat of war in the world, why not say to myself, I am willing to experience more peace in my world today. So I began in my practice to become a beacon of peace and cooperation and love right here today. Now that's something I can have confidence in. I've seen that I can do personal local work and it radiates in the physical world around me through my interactions, even when it's online, through the web of connectivity, like, for example, that we have. I've seen that radiate and change things up. I have confidence in that is part of my work. As well as being responsible in the world, I'm to be responsible in my spiritual practice. So I allow more peace into my life. I'm going to skip to the second paragraph because otherwise we'll go in a different direction with Dr. Holmes's writing. In such a degree as I know that the divine in you is the divine in me, I cannot seek to do you ill. That's an idea just worth sitting with for a day. It would be unthinkable because all that I could do would be to hurt myself. When all the nations of the world see the divine in one another, then we will no longer have useful weapons. We must stop believing that the divine is somewhere apart from us, or somewhere apart from the person or situation that is still in bondage of some kind. We must not be disturbed by the contradiction of objective appearances. Rather, we need to know that the truth of the divine's ever-present activity in our life is superior to the condition we wish to have changed. We must not be disturbed in our spiritual practice, that is. So right now, in our spiritual practice, we are to bring our thought to the divine within, remembering as best as we can what it is and where it is. And affirming again that exactly where it is the same in every place that it shows up. And so the particular use, we can say, of this divine presence, and by that I mean the affirmation of more peace, is an affirmation that, so to speak, is available, active, everywhere. And so let us turn in prayer to this presence within, the source of all life, the peace that is at the center of all being, undisturbed in its original state, the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. That peace is where I am. That peace is everywhere. That undisturbed oneness is in all things. It is my life. And my mind thinks inside of its infinite quietness. And in this awareness, then, I declare, I allow more peace into my life by agreeing with it, by breathing it in, by feeling it and sensing it, and by being guided by it. And so in my spiritual practice through this spiritual mind treatment, I allow no other thoughts to crowd in to my mind, just for a moment. Gently returning to my thought, peace is what I am. God's peace expresses through me. I dwell in this thought. I breathe it in, and I let it saturate my being. I am the peace of the divine. The divine's peace expresses through me, and through my family, and through my pets, and in my neighborhood, and in my city. and in my nation, and in the nations of the world, and in nature. And I am tuning in a mindful way to the network, the everywhere presentness of this peace of the divine, like a mantle covering the planet and beyond, across time and space, still, quiet, holy, peaceful. Today, I stay close to this awareness of peace within me. Today, I stay loyal to this presence of peace within me. Today, I speak from the awareness of peace within me. Today, I prove the peace of the divine in my life. And I love this consciousness of peace in me, and I feel already its guidance. I enjoy the camaraderie I feel with the world, and I trust the consciousness of peace. I have faith in it. And I continue to expand my faith by proving it to myself on behalf of all that come into my thought atmosphere. And I trust that this prayer, these thoughts, this word of prayer is being acted upon by spiritual law. And I am becoming more confident in that every prayer. And so it is. I thank you so much for joining me this morning from wherever you're tuning in. And I thank you in advance for sharing these broadcasts so that we grow in our sense of community online during pandemic times. And I suspect that we will likely carry on even post-pandemic to be connected in new, modern ways, just like this. I love to hear from you. I thank all of you for the messages. I wish I could answer every single one of them, but I sure do read them. And I look forward to seeing you again, being with you tomorrow at 6 a.m. Have a blessed day.